Hello and welcome to a review of the 2020 LEGO Crocodile train set number 10277. When this came out last year, I wasn't too interested or really impressed, but time went on and I thought to myself, you know what, I think it's about time I grabbed myself one of these. At £90, I still think it is actually worth it. It's just not a steam locomotive, which is why it wasn't something I was interested in, but that sort of arrogance has been put to the side and I'm actually very impressed with what I bought. The minifigures do look quite nice, even though they are quite similar. At least the torso and leg pieces are the same. There are a few accessories for the minifigures to hold, and I do like that there is one of each gender. Nice to see some more female minifigures, in my opinion. I want to have a quick look at the base that this set comes on, because this is really nice. I was a bit underwhelmed when I put this together. I thought it was a bit thicker, you know, a little bit taller. But even then, this is a really nice piece to have. The only complaint I suppose I have is the 1x1 pieces being used as part of the sleepers. They are not tiles, they are plates, which means they have their exposed studs. That is a bit of a shame because this would have been an excellent set to get some sleepers in this brown colour. But ultimately, it's still really good for displaying other locomotives. And now to talk about the locomotive itself. It is symmetric, so I'm going to try and keep my focus here on the front half. Now, speaking of these sort of front halves, these end units are built up in the same way, and they are separate to the middle. Now, this is done for the sakes of power functions, or rather I should say power up units, because that is what this thing uses. It is kind of interesting how they would go about this, but at the same time, for the way that LEGO designers kind of make their sets, it makes sense in the kind of ultimate aspect of how they would put this together. LEGO designers construct things very differently to how mock creators put their stuff together. And it's not a bad system, but I don't really want to power this. I do only have one power-up system, and it is currently in another diesel. It doesn't really matter because I do plan on customizing this as well. I want to try and change the wheel arrangement so all the wheels are together and that it kind of articulates quite differently. So the main kind of issue I suppose people have had, I haven't had this issue because I haven't run this in yet, is the articulation point between each unit and the middle piece. There are these sort of ball joints, which is not a bad idea to be honest, but the way it all behaves, people have expressed their concerns of this going over corners and points specifically, and it derails. Now, there are things that can be done to solve this issue, most notably by taking off the rubber band from the wheels, which I have done. Even then, it's a bit of an oversight by the designers. I mean, I suppose they tested this after they built it, but, you know, it's not too much of an issue because, again, it can be solved. It is LEGO after all, so you can just rebuild this to how you see fit. But overall, this design, it looks really good. It looks so good in comparison to the real locomotive it is supposed to be. I'm going to go ahead and say that my favourite detail about this locomotive are the pantographs. Whilst this sort of top detail isn't too excessive, the pantographs themselves look amazing. Took a while to put together, it must be said, but even then, it looks amazing. I'm not one for electrics or diesels, again, I kind of made that obvious, but you can absolutely appreciate some of the detail and the kind of ideas that people go through in order to create this design. It is excellent. On the custom Crocodile locomotive I made something very simple. In fact, I took the pantographs from the Horizon Express. I would never think to even try this, but this I can absolutely appreciate, and I think a lot of people will agree with me when I say this is one of the sort of highlight details of this locomotive. And now just a nice look at the locomotive itself. It is a good looking model. I believe that this will go up in price once it is no longer on shelves. So for £90, I for one believe this is worth it. And whilst I wasn't convinced the first time round, I have this, I've built this, I can enjoy this, I appreciate this. If you are a LEGO Train fan, I absolutely recommend it. And that is the end of this review video. Thank you all ever so much for watching. It has been a long while since I did a set review, and I'm kind of in a stage of the hobby where I don't need to buy sets anymore. I don't want to buy sets anymore. Every now and then, if LEGO release a good train set, I will go ahead and buy them. Next year, 2022, we are expected to see the next two sort of passenger and cargo train sets for the City line. I have high hopes for them now that we have the power-up system kind of in place. I do hope the designs are better and it's not going to be crazy expensive, but we will leave that for the appropriate time. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.